So hello everyone, we are here with Mihalis from Polkadot. Thank you very much for joining us on this interview. I would like to start to ask you to talk a bit about Polkadot. How does it work?
Polkadot is an ecosystem, right? When we talk about Polkadot, we are talking about a whole ecosystem of different chains, all connected to each other or all talking to each other, exchanging information, exchanging messages. And users of one chain can have access through this interoperability to assets and functions on any other chain connected to in the Polkadot ecosystem. In the center is the relay chain that provides the security and connectivity of the different chains. And these chains, which we call parachains, are connected to the relay chain, so they don't have to worry about security. They don't have to worry about the core functionalities of a blockchain because the relay chain provides all that. So developers can focus on building the product that they want to build, whether this is the parachain itself or it is a dApp built on top of another parachain. This is the current state of event. This is how Polkadot was envisioned, but right now we are in a very interesting position where things are evolving, becoming more scalable, becoming more flexible. Yes, thank you. Because I don't know if you know, but the initial model was that with auctions, where a parachain would secure a slot for 2 years, and then it would have to renew it, and the validators of the relay chain would have to validate blocks from a specific chain on one core. But now with core time, this all becomes more dynamic, where each chain can get the core time that it needs. So the resources of the validators on the relay chain become much more utilized, and the needs of the parachains also become more flexible. If you need more, you can get it on the spot. If you need less, somebody else can get the spare core time.
You said that now you are going into a slightly different path. Can you tell us about the main challenges that you are facing and how you try to solve those issues?
Yeah, sure. So the auction model, where it said that a parachain would bid for a slot and it would have it for 2 years, it became too stiff. We figured that the demand for the core time was not that high, and sometimes parachains would get that slot, but it was underutilized. That was one challenge, and to address that, core time was envisioned, which where, as I explained, the power of the validator, the computing power, is distributed among the parachains, and it is utilized by whoever wants it at that time. And that also creates secondary markets where core time can be bought in bulk and sold in retail. Core time has been live on Kusama, Polkadot's Canary network, for a few months now, and it recently got launched on Polkadot as well. The other challenge was that the parachain protocol, the parachain model, was a little bit inflexible in terms of what you can do. So if you were a dApp developer, you could not launch directly on Polkadot. You would have to choose a parachain that fits your needs better, and that is still done. But if you actually wanted to build something bigger, you had to go with a parachain, which is not the easiest path to take, admittedly. So the relay chain itself is undergoing a change now. Gavin Wood and envisioned the JAM model, where the parachain becomes basically a decentralized supercomputer, very agnostic, and anything can attach to it and use the resources of that computer, which is computing power and storage, to do basically anything, like your computer, right? You can run any program. So JAM is kind of the operating system, and anything can be run on it. It will be in the form of rollups and services that basically take use of that decentralized supercomputer, which, as I said, is agnostic and it's also transactionless. So that's the next big step in Polkadot, and for that, the Web3 Foundation that I work for has launched the Jam Bounty Prize, where we pay people to develop different implementations of Jam in different programming languages, from very common like Python, JavaScript,
That's
C++,
interesting.
to exotic languages that I had never heard before in my life. And actually, there have been many, many teams working on that already. And it's estimated to launch later this year.
Cool. That's
Sorry, not this year, 2025.
2025.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. So, are there any planned innovation on more on the staking,
The staking side.
the staking ecosystem?
Yes. So about a year and a half ago, we launched nomination pools that allowed people to join a pool, and the pool acted as a single nominator. Right now, the big changes that are happening is that, for people who don't know, Polkadot operates on what is called the nominated proof of stake. So you have a fixed number of validators that are in the active set, producing blocks, securing the network, and then you have the nominators who nominate the validators that they trust with their own stake, and then the validators that get the most stake and get in the active set and actually produce blocks. This is done by a complex election algorithm that takes several criteria in mind. It's run every day, Polkadot, to produce the new active set. The active set a couple of months ago for Polkadot was 297 validators. It increased to 400, now it went to 500. And the plan is that in next year, it will increase to 1,000 progressively. And all of these validators will also validate blocks from the connected parachains. I think that this is probably one of the most decentralized validator sets out there right now. So that's one big thing that's going on.
Cool milestone to achieve.
Yeah. And that was like the goal from the very beginning. But Kusama is already at 1,000, and Polkadot is getting there soon. So if I had to pick one big change that's happening, I would say it's this one. And right now there is a referendum on Polkadot OpenGov to reduce the inflation on Polkadot. This was something that was discussed heavily in the community in the past years. So the inflation model will change, and it will be a fixed inflation of about $120 million per year. So as the total issuance increases, because the inflation will be fixed, the amount, of new minted tokens, the inflation rate will go progressively down. And this is currently on vote. If it passes, that will be the new inflation model of Polkadot.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you for bring that to the table.
Yeah.
Just to ask you about the Stake Summit event. It's not the first time you.
No, it is the first time
the first time.
I've been here, and I'm really glad I came. I came specific for this event. It's a great event that you guys have put together here. I haven't watched many talks today. I plan on doing so because I've been talking to people, and I think this is one of the best things about these events, that people get together, they get to interact, you get to meet new protocols, you get to meet new people, and talk face to face, because async is great, but in person also has.
It's like incredible. Even for us, it's really good to talk to the person, because we have these partners all over, and this really helps us connect with the community. Just a final question: what are your main goal, or what do you want to achieve from this summit, from those talks with all the protocols that we have here?
Yeah, great question. Well, to get to know more about what other projects and protocols are out there, because when you are part of an ecosystem, you tend to get focused and narrow down. So this is a great opportunity for me to see in more detail what's out there. What's going on. But also I hope to find staking providers and exchanges that are not yet engaged with Polkadot, and talk about bringing them over
Yeah.
to our ecosystem to provide staking features for the user bases.
Yeah, I'm sure you will find
Yeah.
find that here. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to say where can people find more information about Polkadot? Go ahead.
Yes, for sure. You can go to polkadot.com, which is the Polkadot homepage. It's quite redesigned from scratch. You can find all the information there. You can also go to wiki.polkadot.network. And if you have any questions, go to support.polkadot.network and we'll be happy to help you.
Yep, we'll add the comments on the editing. Thank you so much, Alice, for this interview.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you.
Thank you.